Los Angeles, known for its bustling streets, glamorous celebrities, and endless entertainment, was unprepared for the horror that would descend upon it one scorching summer day. The city, a sprawling metropolis of lights and dreams, would soon face an ancient terror that none could have anticipated. It began in the heart of the city, near the famous La Brea tar pits. Dr. Olivia Turner, a renowned paleontologist, was overseeing an excavation site where her team had recently discovered an exceptionally well-preserved saber-toothed tiger fossil. The excitement among the scientists was palpable as they carefully unearthed the bones of the prehistoric predator. Little did they know, their discovery would soon unleash a chain of events that would plunge the city into chaos. As dusk fell, Olivia decided to stay behind to continue her research. The rest of the team had left, leaving her alone with the fossil. The tar pits, usually silent and still, seemed to stir with an unusual energy. The air grew thick, and the ground beneath the tar pits began to tremble. Olivia, engrossed in her work, didn't notice the ominous signs until it was too late. A low, guttural growl reverberated through the air, causing Olivia to freeze. She turned slowly, her flashlight beam cutting through the darkness. To her horror, the saber-toothed tiger, which should have been nothing more than bones, was emerging from the tar, its eyes glowing with a feral intensity. The prehistoric beast, somehow reanimated by the mystical properties of the tar, had come back to life. Olivia's scream pierced the night as the saber-toothed tiger lunged at her, its massive fangs glinting in the dim light. She barely had time to react, diving behind a nearby table. The beast's powerful claws raked the ground where she had stood moments before. Heart-pounding, Olivia scrambled to her feet and ran towards her car, the tiger hot on her heels. She reached the vehicle just in time, slamming the door shut as the tiger crashed into the side, leaving deep gouges in the metal. The city of Los Angeles was oblivious to the terror that had been unleashed. The streets were alive with the usual hustle and bustle, people going about their evening routines. But as the saber-toothed tiger prowled through the shadows, it quickly made its presence known. Its first victims were a group of late-night joggers in Griffith Park. The beast struck with brutal efficiency, its fangs tearing through flesh and bone. The screams echoed through the park, but by the time anyone arrived, the tiger had vanished, leaving behind a scene of carnage. News of the attack spread rapidly, and panic began to grip the city. Reports of a wild animal on the loose flooded the police stations, but no one could believe that a saber-toothed tiger was responsible. The authorities launched a citywide search, but the beast remained elusive, using its ancient instincts to avoid capture. Detective Mark Benson was assigned to the case. A seasoned investigator, he had seen his fair share of bizarre incidents, but nothing like this. He met with Dr. Olivia Turner, who recounted her harrowing encounter with the reanimated predator. Despite his initial skepticism, the evidence was undeniable. Together, they formed an unlikely alliance, determined to stop the saber-toothed tiger before it could claim more lives. As they delved deeper into the mystery, Olivia discovered ancient texts that hinted at the tar pit's supernatural properties. It was believed that the tar could reanimate the dead under specific conditions that had somehow been met that fateful night. Armed with this knowledge, they devised a plan to lure the beast back to the tar pits and trap it once more. But the saber-toothed tiger had already begun its rampage through the heart of Los Angeles. It prowled the streets, striking at random, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. From the glitzy boulevards of Hollywood to the quiet suburbs, no one was safe. The beast seemed to revel in the chaos, its primal instincts driving it to hunt and kill. One night, as Olivia and Detective Benson prepared their trap, the tiger launched a brazen attack on a crowded nightclub. The scene was one of utter horror as the beast tore through the crowd, its fangs dripping with blood. Panic ensued, and people fled in every direction, but the tiger was relentless. It cornered a group of terrified patrons, its growl rumbling like thunder. Just as it was about to strike, a blinding spotlight hit the beast, causing it to recoil. Olivia and Benson had arrived, using the nightclub's powerful lights to disorient the tiger. With calculated precision, they herded the beast towards the waiting trap at the tar pits. The tiger, blinded and confused, stumbled into the sticky tar, its roars of rage echoing through the night. Olivia quickly activated the mechanism they had set up, causing the tar to solidify around the beast, trapping it once more in its ancient prison. The city of Los Angeles breathed a collective sigh of relief, but the scars of the saber-toothed tiger's rampage would linger for years to come. The authorities covered up the true nature of the beast, attributing the attacks to a rogue animal that had been dealt with. But those who had witnessed the terror knew the truth, a truth that would haunt them forever. Olivia returned to her work, but the experience had changed her. She could never forget the sight of the reanimated saber-toothed tiger, a creature out of time and place, driven by primal fury. Detective Benson continued his duties, but the case remained unsolved in his mind, a dark chapter in his career that defied explanation. And so, the saber-toothed tiger was once again entombed in the tar pits, a relic of a distant past, waiting for the day when it might rise again. As the city of Los Angeles moved on, the legend of the beast grew, a cautionary tale of ancient horrors lurking just beneath the surface, ready to emerge and remind humanity of its fragile place in the world. Days turned into weeks, and the city slowly returned to its usual rhythm. But the sense of unease lingered. Olivia and Benson could not shake off the feeling that something was still amiss. They continued to monitor the tar pits, hoping their trap would hold indefinitely. One stormy night, as lightning streaked across the sky and thunder rumbled in the distance, the tar pits began to stir once more. Olivia, sensing something was wrong, rushed to the site. The tar bubbled violently, and with a sudden, deafening roar, the saber-toothed tiger broke free once again. This time, it seemed even more enraged, as if the temporary confinement had only fueled its primal fury. Olivia frantically called Detective Benson, who immediately mobilized all available units. The chase through the city resumed, more desperate than ever. The saber-toothed tiger tore through the streets, its massive form casting terrifying shadows under the streetlights. It became clear that their previous tactics would no longer suffice. The beast was learning, adapting, becoming more cunning. The pursuit led them to the outskirts of Los Angeles, towards the foothills of the Angeles National Forest. The tiger, seemingly aware of its pursuers, increased its pace, heading for the dense cover of the forest. Olivia and Benson, along with a team of armed officers, followed closely behind, determined to end the beast's rampage once and for all. As they entered the forest, the atmosphere grew tense. The thick canopy overhead blocked out most of the moonlight, casting eerie shadows all around. The officers spread out, their flashlights flickering through the trees. The growl of the saber-toothed tiger echoed in the distance, a chilling reminder of the predator they were hunting. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the air. One of the officers had been ambushed by the tiger, his lifeless body flung aside like a rag doll. Panic set in as the team realized the beast had the upper hand in this environment. The thick underbrush and towering trees provided ample cover for the ancient predator. Benson and Olivia, realizing the danger their team was in, called for a tactical retreat. They needed to regroup and devise a new strategy. But the tiger had other plans. It lunged at them from the shadows, its massive form knocking Benson to the ground. Olivia fired her weapon, but the bullet seemed to have little effect on the enraged beast. With a Herculean effort, Benson managed to shove the tiger off him, but the beast quickly recovered and prepared for another attack. Just then, a deafening roar echoed through the forest. A massive grizzly bear, drawn by the commotion, emerged from the trees and charged at the saber-toothed tiger. The two predators clashed in a ferocious battle, claws and fangs tearing into each other. Olivia and Benson used the opportunity to retreat further, watching in awe as the ancient and modern titans fought for dominance. The grizzly, though powerful, was no match for the primal fury of the saber-toothed tiger. The bear fell, mortally wounded, leaving the tiger to turn its attention back to the humans. Realizing they were outmatched, Olivia and Benson made a desperate decision. They lured the tiger towards a nearby canyon, where they had set up explosives as a last resort. As the beast closed in, they triggered the charges, causing a massive landslide. Rocks and debris tumbled down, seemingly burying the tiger under a mountain of rubble. The silence that followed was deafening. Olivia and Benson, bruised and battered, looked at the pile of rocks, hoping that the nightmare was finally over. But deep down, they knew that the saber-toothed tiger's rampage had left an indelible mark on their lives. As dawn broke, they made their way back to the city, leaving the forest and its hidden terror behind. Los Angeles would heal, but the memory of the saber-toothed tiger would linger, a reminder of the ancient horrors that could still rise from the depths of time. And somewhere in the depths of the Angeles National Forest, perhaps beneath a pile of rubble, the saber-toothed tiger lay dormant, its primal fury waiting for the day it would rise again. Or perhaps the recently reported accounts of deep massive growls and something large stalking the shadows east of Yosemite are much more than the imaginations of hikers.